Welcome back. It's beginning of October. I've got a lovely autumn day outside with a bit of sun, a bit of rain, a bit of everything. And yeah, there's a number of changes afoot at the moment. So the first one, which you might notice, is that we're not standing in the kitchen anymore this time because the kitchen is being renovated. So I've moved the little trolley, the orchid trolley, out into the living room. It's a little bit less sunny here, but hopefully they'll be able to cope with it. The other change, which might be a little bit more difficult to cope with, is that due to the extortionate energy bills, which have gone up by about 400%, I've had to turn the heating down in the house by about 2 degrees to 19 degrees. So it'll be interesting to see how these plants are able to cope with that. A lot of these plants are more like intermediate to warm growing. I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle over the winter. So yeah, a lot of changes going on at the moment. But what I do have at the moment is a lot of Phalaenopsis in flower, which is very welcome, of course, but well, it's a little bit embarrassing in a way because Phalaenopsis isn't really my focus. It's more cattleyas and paphs and some other things. So I have been buying some Phalaenopsis as an afterthought, and it turns out that they're doing very, very well. So, and yeah, I think there's really a lot to like about Phalaenopsis. They do flower on relatively young plants, so you don't have to wait for a long time when you buy a juvenile plant, as you might with a cattleya or a paph, for instance. And some of them also have a beautiful fragrance, and the colours, obviously, as you can see here, very beautiful, very intense colours, a nice range of colours. Got a paph in there as well. This is, I think it's Paphiopedal. It's labelled as leucocylum, but that's definitely not what it is. At least I don't think so. It looks more like Niveum to me. Got a little Phalaenopsis equestris there behind it, the cerulean. Very delicate colouring on that. And I've taken a few photos with the SLR, with the macro lens. So I might yeah, weave some of those into the video so we can see the detail of some of those flowers a bit better. It's a bit hard to see them on the video, especially the smaller flowers like this equestris here. This one next to it here, this one's an equestris hybrid. So you can see the similarity in the shape of the flower. It's a much bigger flower. Also very beautiful. Get that into focus. And yeah, some of these other ones have been in flower for a while. This Bellina here, species which I've had for a long time. Next to it, this is a pulchra hybrid. Yeah, you really need to get it into the light to see the pulchra influence. It's nice and glossy. And this one, I think this one here is my favourite. This is a Gigantia hybrid, Phalaenopsis gigantea. It's really beautiful colouring and patterning on this one. No fragrance, however. And I'm hoping that it's going to grow big leaves in the fashion of Phalaenopsis gigantea. But time will tell. I think it's got Bellina, maybe a bit of Ludemaniana, something like that in it. Just beautiful. And a couple of more down here as well. This one here is a Violacea hybrid. And next to it, this is the Speciosa, again flowering the two-tone flowers. And I think we can already see a little bit the influence of the lower temperatures. It looks like it's going to drop some of these buds here, so the display won't be that good. And next to it here, this is another species, Phalaenopsis mariae, just about to pop open. So yeah, I think tomorrow it'll be open probably. Might take some photos of that and see if we can have a look at that as well. But I'm quite excited to see that. That's the first flowering on this plant, and yeah, it's quite a small plant, so I think that's a really good thing about these Phalaenopsis is you don't have to wait forever for them to get some flowers, and they seem to do very well in household conditions. Don't need any particular special treatment. I did take some of them out into the greenhouse in summer. It's where they get a lot of heat, and growing them quite bright as well, which they seem to be able to adapt to. Didn't get too many burnt leaves. I did get a burnt leaf on this Bellina, and this Gigantia was also looking a bit yellowy, so I actually took it back indoors. But yeah, the greenhouse is, well, that provides extra heat really in the summer. So, and now I've brought them back into the house for the winter, so hopefully they'll be able to adapt to those cooler temperatures than I would prefer. I'm also finding it a bit chilly at nights, to be honest, but we've got a fireplace over there, so just throw a few logs on the fireplace in the evenings. Of course, the firewood has also tripled in price, so there's no escaping it really, is there? Just before I step into the greenhouse, I've got a couple of plants still sitting outside here. 3 paphs and a little Dendrobium Jenkins. Yeah, I thought I'd give it a try with the Dendrobium. Try to give it a cool spell to see if I can get it to flower. I've had it for so many years and I've never been able to flower it. But these paphs also like a cooler spell. So this one here is a squirreli Alba Jade. So that's an Alba, really nice Alba form of a squirreli. And then we've got Armeniacum there to the right of that, and behind Micranthum. They've all been sort of, yeah, those two, Micranthum and Armeniacum, I've had them for a number of years. They did flower when I first got them. They put out new growths, but then the growths kind of die off, and then new growths, and so sort of going in spurts, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, that type of thing. So yeah, still trying to figure them out. But they definitely do like this cool spell at the end of summer. That's when they seem to kick into growth. So you can see there's new growths on the Micranthum there, and also on the Armeniacum. And this Esquirreli is a newer plant, and I haven't had it for that long, but it certainly has kicked into growth since it's been outside. Into the greenhouse now. Not a huge amount going on there. There's quite a bit of stuff in bud though. So we've got this Paphiopedilum charlesworthii here. It's been in bud for a number of months, but so we've got 2 little plants, and they're both preparing to flower. This one looks like it's quite close to opening up. And next to it is the X Hermannii, Paphiopedilum X Hermannii. It's a naturally occurring hybrid. Can't remember the 2 species that are part of it off the top of my head, but it's a very colourful little one with green and pink and yellow in it. It's also in bud. You can see a little bud in there. What else have I got? I'm sure I've got a few more paphs in bud. Right, so I found the other one that's in bud. It's Paphiopedilum greytrixianum. So I've got two plants of greytrixianum. Not sure why I bought another one. I already had it. Bought another one. I think it was on sale or something. So this one is a larger stature plant than the one that I already had. So it'll be interesting to see how the flower compares with the one that I've already got. And yeah, on in the cattleyas, I've got this one here, which is Purpurata by Memorial Robert Straight, which is nice hybrid. That yeah, that's pretty close to flowering now. So that should hopefully in the next week or two give some flowers. I've got quite a few of other cattleyas that are in bud, but I think that's the one that's the most advanced at this moment. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's got some buds in it. Now this is the Golden Zell High Moon. Yeah, sorry, High Moon. Yeah, that's in bud. And what else have we got? Oh yeah, this one here. You can see some flowers in there, number of flowers. This is the blue Hiroshima Melody Blue Genie. Yeah, another hybrid, Galliana hybrid with some other species in it. That one's getting close to coming out. And I've got, yeah, this one here also developing nicely. This is primary hybrid Mrs. Myra Peters Gasgalliana by Warneri. So that one's also in bud, and there's a few others, not as far as advanced as these ones. So it should get a good display in the coming month or two, leading up into Christmas, and I guess some other plants will also start coming into bud around Christmas time. That's what usually happens. A lot of things flowering around that time. So yeah, that helps to get through the darkness of Christmas. Lots of beautiful flowering orchids